I'm Fraçois Rebello. I'm the CEO of Train Hotel, a new company that aims to establish an overnight train between New York and Montreal. And for the moment, what we do, we have started to operate a private rail car that we attach to the actual day train. So while we are waiting to establish an overnight train, we are starting a little service with one rail car attached to the Amtrak train with a special service with music, live music on board. It's a piano bar with good food and pleasure, and we can do this trip from Montreal to New York along the beautiful Lake Champlain and the Hudson River down to New York City. First of all, the idea is when you're traveling, it's a lot of time, especially if you do it for a short period of time, like a weekend. The time you will spend traveling, it's an important part of the time. So why not having this time to be part of the trip, part of the pleasure, So before I started this business, I was elected in the Quebec Parliament, and I was doing Montreal, Quebec City each week to go to work. And I was using a lot the Via Rail service. I was lucky enough to do it on the first class, and it was really a pleasure for me each week, to have a nice dinner, a good couple of glasses of wine, and it was a pleasure each time. So it was a good time for me. So I was thinking, why, if I like to do Montreal, Quebec like this, why not doing Montreal, New York, Montreal, Boston on this kind of train, And now there's no real good service for those destinations. So it's why I had this idea. It takes time because the track goes along the Champlain Lake, so it's a slow train. It's about 11 hours to do Montreal, New York, including 1 hour at the border. So it's why I propose to do it overnight. 11 hours, it's the exact time of an overnight. So you can have your dinner, drink a little bit and go to sleep and wake up in downtown New York, or we could do it also for Boston. So the idea is to use this time to sleep also. But, to do it, we need to negotiate access on the rail to the owner of the track, to the big railroads that own those tracks. So it takes time and preparation to get those agreements. So it's why we're doing now a service on the day train. For sure, it's long, but you see our major problem now when we arrive in New York. We leave Montreal about 10 a.m. and we arrive at 9 p.m. in New York City. And the biggest problem we have is the last call problem, I call it. When you arrive, it's 9 p.m. People would like to stay in the train. It's always a battle for me to bring out the people of the train, because the rest of the train, the Amtrak passengers are leaving the train, but our passenger wants to stay and want to continue the party because it's just 9 p.m. They would like to continue. It's exciting because I'm pretty sure we'll kill the market, because if you have an overnight service between Montreal and New York, it means that you're saving not only time but also money, because when you're sleeping on the train, in your room, in your bed on the train, arriving in the morning, you're saving your hotel room in New York. Our price will be half of it. So you will not only have your room, but also your transportation for half of the price just of the hotel room in New York. So for sure we'll kill the market. When we'll have this overnight service, we'll kill the market. I don't know why, but a lot of decision makers, they just don't see it like this. They think that it's all about speed. You can do it in an hour and a half in an airline, so why people will take 11 hours. It's good for the society. Will reduce also pollution for sure, because if you have a train, it's better than flying. Your green gas emission will be lower. But on top of it, you have something that makes sense in terms of business consideration. It's financially viable for individuals to do it, but also for investors to be in this kind of project. Now in Montreal, the young people, they don't have any more car, and a lot of them, they just don't have any more driver's license. So how those people will travel during the weekend? They don't have driver's license. They need public transportation. They will pay for a train ride. And even if they have a good job after their school, they will still, instead of buying a car, they will buy a condo downtown. Yeah. This is the new reality. So this is not a dream thing. It's a reality. So if you want to catch this market, you need to. But the older decision makers just don't see the reality of today. They live in a world, in an old world, you know, and also they forget that even themselves, they are getting older and they don't want to drive anymore, because you know, when you're 70, 75 years old, it's you don't drive for 7 hours the same time like when you're 45 or 50. So they need also public transportation because people are getting older. You know, we are in a society that people. So you have the older people that needs public transportation and the younger that don't have any more driver's license. So you need to respond to this new demand in the market. But for sure, there's a big clash of vision. I have with investors in particular. They have to understand. I have to demonstrate this new market. I have to demonstrate that we can do this kind of thing. We can convince the railroad. Even in a very different society, like the land of my father, India, they have nice train services, you know, a lot more than here. So why we could not have it in Quebec, in Canada? You know, I think we can make it happen in our society.
Sweet, great.